I'm Dave Axel. Welcome back to the Weekly Band Crawl. And today we have something out of the norm for you. We have another club owner. I have Fred here from Fredsters. Thank you for making the time and coming out. And you know, you're busy. You're running a whole enterprise over there.
And thank you for having me on.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
So I think a lot of people do not know you're a musician yourself.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I'm a drummer. Now, the jokes go, we have 4 musicians in the band and 1 drummer.
Right.
But for the sake of this interview, I'll consider myself a drummer. Sorry, a musician.
You're gonna be a musician today?
I'm a musician.
Today we'll do
musician, yes.
So give me your background. I mean, I know you've been drumming a long time.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get it right. So I started when I was in 6th grade. I took private lessons. About a year later, I got my first drum set. And then I still had lessons. And then I got in high school and I had a different teacher. And I played in a rock band throughout high school. 4-piece band. Later on, we added horns, and we were doing Chicago and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And so I came up in that jazz rock era. Mm-hmm. And of course, I was in marching band during high school. And then later on, in 1981-82, I went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California, which is a tech school. I went to PIT, Percussion Institute, which really helped my reading and getting my styles together more. And I was anxious to learn. I like different kinds of music. Mm-hmm. Wonderful teachers. And so then after that, and I was working at Guitar Center in LA for a while. And then a friend of mine, drummer friend of mine, recommended me for a cruise ship gig.
Nice.
So I spent what turned into about a 20-year period. I played in the orchestras of 18 different cruise ships.
Wow, okay.
Traveled a lot, learned a lot about music, played some good music, some schlocky, cheesy music.
Right.
But, you know, what I'm glad about, I don't mean to sound boastful, there's millions of drummers who are better than I am, but I can do things that millions of drummers can't do, let's say, just smoothly, which is I can go from a rock beat to a shuffle to a samba to a bossa nova to a cha-cha to brushes effortlessly just because of experience. But I like the music too.
Right, sure.
You know, so,
it's easier when you like what you're playing.
Yeah, but I like a lot of different music, and I would encourage all drummers to check out different styles of music. You don't have to master them, but it's fun if you can play those styles a bit, and when you dig a little more, you know, I love reggae. So when I was on the ships, I used to sit in with the steel bands, the all-black guys from the Caribbean islands. I'd sit in and I'd learn how to play better reggae and calypso, and I would do it on several ships, and I was welcome to sit in, and it was fun. And I love that Caribbean music.
Now, you're still running Soul Function, and
Yes.
It sounds like a lot of that multi-music level experience is kind of how Soul Function
Yes.
puts its set together.
Yes, I have an 11-piece band called Soul Function. I'm the drummer leader. We have 4 horns, 2 trumpets, sax, trombone, 3 singers, and 4 rhythm. Now, it is a reading gig. So if you play in my band, you got to be a good reader, and you won't always see the same faces, but it's cats who can read well and sight read well. And again, we can go, what's kind of cool about it, we could do a Bob Marley song 1 minute and Frank Sinatra the next. Mm-hmm. We play Tower of Power, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We play blues, which a lot of bands don't play blues, yet it's the foundation of American music.
Sure.
I'm talking Delbert McClinton, B.B. King. We play Aretha, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Average White Band, Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the horn-driven music that I loved and I grew up with. And my favorite band ever since high school is still Tower of Power.
Okay. Not a bad choice.
Yeah, I love playing that stuff. And in addition to all that, we keep it danceable, especially.
Yes, I've seen the band. It's a dance band for sure.
Yeah. And I've seen your bands, and they're dance bands, because we wisely keep the tempos usually between about 100 and 125 beats a minute.
Right, which for what we're playing makes sense.
And that's what the dancers want. So then later on in life, I was able to, I've always wanted to have a live music venue. So now I've got Fredsters in Maitland, which is a play on words, because my band used to have a house gig at the former Dexter's in Winter Park.
I remember that.
And my junior partner is the former co-owner of Dexter's in Winter Park. So I look at Fredsters as Dexter's on steroids. It's got the same casual vibe and hang, but it's got a 32 by 17 foot stage.
Yeah, stage is beautiful.
It's 2.5 feet high, because if we didn't have that stage, otherwise we'd just be another good restaurant with a bar.
Right. Right.
But now this is not a restaurant with live music. This is a live music venue
With a restaurant.
with a restaurant bar.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan, and it's coming along fairly well. It's been a long, expensive, stressful journey, but I'm proud of what we've accomplished. And we're gonna have different kinds of music. We have pop music, we have funk and R&B, we have current stuff, pop rock, classic rock, alternative. What's the word? Alternative?
Alternative rock.
Yeah, and alternative. The '80s music.
Oh yeah. Okay.
80s music. We're gonna have. We'll probably have a Latin night. We've had country music. We're gonna
Tribute
have,
bands.
We're gonna have tribute. Tribute
bands.
bands are very successful. We had a great one last night. We had a Rush tribute band. They were back again. And next, is it Friday or Thursday? They're going to be at Fredster's. Some of the same guys with a Pink Floyd tribute band, which
I heard was really good the first time.
It was
I
very
didn't get
good.
to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We're anxious to have them back. It's a ticketed event. We have a dedicated dance floor, but when we have concert type, non-dance kind of music, like Rush, Pink Floyd, we have chairs and seating in the dance floor area.
Sure, because you're probably not going to need it.
Right.
Yep.
But-
So one thing you guys have been good about is, when you started Fredsters, being a big band, horn-driven person yourself, you were kind of trying to just stay with that music. But you guys have a pretty good variety now, right? You have Barfly go through
Sure.
there. You have your band Soul Function come through. You've got like this nice mix of music. How do you decide what bands are going to play there?
Well, thank you. My overall vision for Fredsters is rhythm and blues, which is a big tent. And I like classic rock. We like classic rock bands who play songs in those tempos, those danceable tempos are important because dancing people are happy people.
And they're people who need food and drink.
They need food and drink, and we have a large dedicated dance floor. So we prefer bands that have a good following. We're not really a hard rock band place, but the classic rock bands, for example, we love My Generation, Skin Deep. I'm looking forward to Rocket Fly playing there. I've seen these bands. Not only do they have a good following, but they play music that's danceable. So I don't care whether you're playing, well, I'm kind of burnt out on Journey, but Journey, whether it's Journey or Santana or Aerosmith, play those tempos that are in the dance tempo
In the pocket.
in that pocket. And your band does that, and a couple other bands. That's what we're looking for. Those kind of bands that play those tempos, and those who get it you have a more successful dance floor, and people come back.
Well, what's interesting with your place too is, I always say that the band and the venue have a partnership, right?
Oh,
It's
yes.
the band's job to bring some people with them, and the venue should have some people who are going anyway.
Yes.
And so neither person has to fill the place up. It's a combination of the two.
Correct.
And you have actually built up a pretty decent sized crowd that is coming to Fredsters for Fredsters.
Yes.
Which I find does make it easier for the band.
Yes.
Right? So if we show up and we bring, 30, 40 people, you're already going to have 30, 40 people, and now it's a packed house.
Yes.
Which is more fun for us on stage, as you know, right?
Yeah.
It's more fun for us when people are into what you're doing, but it also takes the pressure off the band to bring a large crowd, because you're going to have some people and some revenue that you're supplementing.
Yes.
Right? And it's not just empty, you have to do what you do.
And we want the bands to have fun. We want the staff to have fun. I want to have fun. We want our guests, our customers to have fun. So that's, part of the whole thing. And Fredster's is in Maitland, 1720 Fennel Street, near the corner of Maitland and Keller, across from all the big Advent Health offices.
Yeah, you're not far from RDV Sports Complex.
No.
You're basically right at the bottom of the exit.
Yeah. And what's nice is it's a safe area. It's clean, and there's plenty of parking.
214 spots, I think, right?
Yes. Because after 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night, the adjacent parking lot is pretty much empty.
Yeah, the businesses go home.
Yeah, yeah. So, and something else you're talking about, drawing crowds. I had a band leader mention to me last year, and this pertains mostly to bands and the individual band members especially.
Okay.
Nowadays, with social media, this band member expects not only himself, but all of his band members to invite, to, blast it out on social media. Hey, my band's playing here, we're playing there. And the other thing I like about my place, which was always part of the plan, is we welcome private functions. corporate
Oh, sure.
events.
You've done some big charity events there too.
Charities, corporate events, wedding receptions, parties, banquets, class reunions.
Whatever. If they
Whatever.
can use a space like yours,
Charities.
you're basically open to it.
Yes, and also, and your affiliates have used some of this. Your peeps, our 32 by 17 foot stage is also available for filming band promos,
Yep.
business ventures.
We've done both of
corporate
those
things.
at your
You've
place.
done both of those.
We filmed BAM demos. We did a chiropractor who came in and did a seminar lecture
Yes, yeah.
and used the stage. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is a great place for that.
Yeah.
You also have your own PA.
House PA.
And at some point, and which they don't have to use, but they can.
Yeah.
And then if they want to use your sound person, they can use their sound person, or they can just bring in what they're going to do, as long as they keep their sound level,
Yeah.
right? So that everybody can hear each other.
True. We provide sound techs whenever we need to, which is usually about 75% of the time. Or the bands are welcome to bring their own sound tech and or their own PA. But we've made it easier because we have a nice house PA. So we don't complain if a band wants to bring their stuff. That's fine. That's part of it. And we can implement change more quickly because we don't have a corporate board above us.
Telling you what to do.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
you make the decisions. You're the CEO.
Yeah, I'm the CEO. I'm the top dog, but I listen to advice. I've learned a lot from talking to you. I've learned from my partner. No CEO. I came from a business family. My grandfather told me, he said, do you think the CEO of GM knows it all? No, he's got vice presidents and engineers who report, and he makes decisions based on that.
Mhm. You have to. You can't know it all.
No one knows it all.
I know you guys are making some more changes too. First of all, people like the venue. Like, I don't get a ton of negative feedback on the place. Everybody has their opinion.
Sure.
I know you guys have talked about making it a little easier to get food and drink. Sometimes
Yes.
you're so busy,
Yes.
and the tables are so tight,
Yeah.
and you've got that bar design in the corner that makes it a little difficult to get alcohol out. I think it's important that people know that there's changes coming that are going to make the service a little faster,
Yes.
make it easier to grab a drink from the bar. You guys have also lowered your prices down.
Yes.
From when we started, right? Because
Yes.
originally, things were expensive. The people would come back and say, wow, I went to Fredster's, I had 2 beers, and that was all I was going to be able to do.
Yeah.
You guys have done a good job in lowering the prices, and I think you're adjusting your menu almost quarterly, right? Adrian does it for the season.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so all of that stuff is constantly changing because you're getting feedback from your customers, you're getting feedback from the bands, and you guys are
Right.
trying to adjust, which is nice.
Yes.
Right? Like, it doesn't fall on deaf ears.
No. No.
And you're a great venue, in an okay location.
Yeah.
So it's easy to park. It's safe, 100%. The
Yeah.
venue's beautiful,
Yeah.
and now all of those changes and publicizing them, I think, drive more people to come out there.
True.
Right? Because you're starting to have places shut down.
Yes.
You're losing venues, and
Yeah.
so you are one of the few dedicated to live music spots.
Right.
Post Time is dedicated to live music. They have the dedicated stage, the dedicated dance floor. A lot of these places are restaurants that transform at night, whereas you are a full-blown live music venue. So the more you dial in and match up with what bands and people are saying, the more they're going to come out to that location and
True.
spend their money and spend their time. And we were just there. You were nice enough to let our other band, Envious, debut there just a couple weeks ago.
Great job.
You had a great crowd.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You had people in there who had nothing to do with us that would come up to us and tell us. The one woman gave it a name. She was like, "We're the Fredettes," or
Oh.
she had a name, and she's like, "We come here. This is where we want to hang." So, congrats on at least being able to keep it moving, keep it
Thank
going, and I think the more people come, give feedback, and you guys adjust to the feedback, the better off you're going to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the bands in the beginning had a volume problem, right? Because there are some very popular bands that are popular enough that they just kind of do what they do, right? They're a
Right.
rock band, they put on a rock show. It seems like you guys have solved that.
Well,
I haven't seen or heard any issues about that for a long time.
We did some further soundproofing. We want to add some more. But we're able to communicate with the bands pretty well. And when I ask them to turn down or their sound techs, it's usually friendly and they get it because they know that we don't want customers complaining. Because the customers is ultimately our employer. It's
Right,
the
they're paying
lifeblood.
you so you can pay them.
They're paying us. Now, some bands, or if it's a tribute night, hey, it's going to be loud.
It is what it is.
And the
Warn them when
guests
they come
know
in.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've given out earplugs and this sort of thing, so we want to make it ear friendly, if you will. But it seems to be less of a problem now with the volume.
Well, like you said, you've soundproofed, and I think the bands really, I talk to almost every band. They really do want to do a good job for every single place they play.
Yeah.
There's no band on the scene that I can think of that is like, we don't care. And so I think they do try and meet in the middle and say, hey, okay, we're too loud. We can turn down to here. Hey, we need you to let us be this loud. This is as low as we can go. Okay, you've got provision for that. That seems to be what was originally the biggest hurdle.
Yes.
It almost seems like that's a non-issue at this point.
Hardly.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm electronic drums. It's normally the drums, as you know, that are the base of the volume level anyway, so we haven't had an issue. But I've seen some big bands in there. Skin Deep plays there. My Gen plays there. Hasn't been a noise problem yet. And I think that's important for the other bigger bands to know.
Sure.
Because you've got some big names that don't play there yet, right? And part of that was probably the, hey, I heard it's hard to do. I heard the volume is an issue. So I think I'm basically only mentioning it so that the other bands know that you guys are trying to work on it.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard any complaints about it in a long time. So kudos to you guys for figuring it out.
Thank you. And the bands, the feedback I've gotten is overwhelming, just especially from customers. Oh, we love what you did here. Thank you for having a dance place where we can dance, And the bands are very, complimentary to our stage. They love our stage. They love our
There's
venue.
nothing not to like.
Well,
the stage is humongous.
We all know that bands are, sometimes you're stuck in a tight area.
Oh, yeah.
Here they got room to spread out and entertain.
And we can move around. We can dance
Yes.
around. We can
Yes.
go side to side. And the stage is fantastic, and the dance floor area, all of that is perfect. And as you said, you're making some improvements to how easy it is to get serviced, how easy it is to get a drink. You guys have adjusted your prices a bit. I think you're kind of finding your footing, because Fredster's is fairly new.
Yes.
April of last year.
Actually, March.
March of last year is when you opened. So you're about a year and a half in. You're not established yet. You got another year or two, but it's been good to watch you try to adjust to the market on
Yes.
some stuff, and on some stuff to say, no, we want the market to adjust to us.
Yeah.
And that hybrid is really coming together. I don't think people know. So you're open for lunch on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Well, we're open for lunch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11. We open at 11. Wednesdays we usually close around 10:30, unless it's a tribute night,
Yeah.
a little later. Thursdays and Fridays we're open later. Thursdays we sort of close about 11 on Thursdays, but Fridays we're open later, 11, 12. Saturdays we open at 5.
Oh, so no lunch on Saturdays.
We don't do
it's
lunch on
basically
Saturdays.
dinner and music on Saturday.
And we're closed Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays for now. But
Right.
again, as we've said, we don't have that corporate board above us. So as things pick up, we can easily open on another day or two, and or tweak our times.
And I'm sure you could take private events on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever. You
We
can
have.
open for an event. The Rock to Stop Suicide was there last year.
Yeah.
Right, and it was on a Sunday. And so if anybody wants to use it for a meeting, event, whatever, they can just reach out to you guys. Is the best way to get you being Fredsters, Facebook? Just go to the Facebook page and send in a message.
Facebook page or our phone number at Fredsters is 321-444-6331.
So they can just call in.
They can just call. And another thing I'm happy to have, and you were part of this too, is I love having kids bands.
Yeah, so you've had School of Rock a couple of times, and then you had Sound Check.
I was happy to open on a Sunday. Was it a Sunday or a Saturday?
Yep, you opened on a Sunday and let the kids, not only did they film their demo there,
Yeah.
which you opened on a Sunday when you were shut and let them do,
Yeah.
thank you again,
Sure.
but they played a show there on a Sunday. You opened for lunch, and they came in and played a show and had a good crowd, and I
Yeah.
believe in October, they actually have their own night there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to booking them because, again, what I heard, I could hear your influence, I think, in the band, was the rock tunes they were playing were dance tempos.
Yeah, the interesting thing with a kid band is, first of all, you're one of the few venues that will do that,
Yeah.
right? Some venues can't.
I'm proud to do
Some
that.
venues can't. If you're a bar at 9:30, kids are gone by law anyway, right? So some venues would, but they can't, and so other venues just won't. And so I think it's great that you let them do it. And I tell the kids, because they're kids, and at this point, the two lead singers are 17, the bass player's 16, like they're not babies, but I tell them, look, if you want to keep people interested, you're not skin deep, pop a wheelie like these performing bands. You need to make sure they can sing or dance to anything you play.
Exactly.
Nothing should be something that they've never heard of. If you have a metal tune you want to do and people know it, sure, sprinkle them in, do what you want. But in general, they've got to be in that pocket where
Yes.
the crowd is interested in what they're doing, knows what they're doing, so they don't just say, oh, this is a gimmick, and leave.
Right.
And the Kid Band is phenomenal at that. And the School of Rock bands, that's Wes out in Oviedo. He's always been very good with telling his kids, like, hey, you're going to play this.
Yeah.
And having them learn, and they don't typically show up and play anything that you wouldn't know either.
Right.
I actually adopted some of that strategy from him because
Good.
my son went there for a little while. So yes, I think that's great also. I'm going to switch you to one more drumming question. So in the beginning, when we were talking about your experience in the cruise ships and Soul Function, you made the point of saying it's a reading band,
Yeah.
right? So first of all, I've seen your stuff. It's not tab, it's reading. It's sheet music,
Oh, yeah.
like chart by chart. When you were going through the scene and playing on the cruise ships and doing did you find that being able to sight read charts and jump in helped you get gigs as a drummer?
Oh yes, yeah. Especially with like other ships, because I would go, I'd do a contract, and I'd go to a different ship, and I've worked for all the major cruise lines, and what it amounts to is you have a rehearsal that day,
Right.
and then that night you do the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to read. And I'll be the first to say there's great musicians who don't read music or
Plenty.
just read chord charts. And this is not a competition, but I think it's very useful if, in addition to your bag of tricks, you can read music. And I've been collecting I've been putting together my book for over 20 years. I've spent a small
Your book of
fortune.
charts.
My book of arrangements,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So when we do September by Earth and Fire, that's pretty much the chart.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent a small fortune, and my charts, my arrangements don't have scratch outs, and they're not road maps as we call them.
Right. It's
When-
just the sheet music.
Yes, but when you read it, you're not wondering where's this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's not all these scratch outs. Road maps mean, where am I going to go? It makes rehearsing so much easier.
Sure.
And I'm very proud to have that.
And I notice your whole band reads. Like
Yes.
they all have charts in front of them.
Everybody's reading music.
So at some point, you have to know these charts by heart.
Well,
You've
I
been
know-
playing this forever.
I have a lot of it memorized. Some I have to look at, but I've got like over 200 songs in my book.
Right.
Which I'm want to announce also that I'm inviting you to be part of, because we want to put a big kind of thing together where we're going to use. I have a book for 3 horns or 6 horns. I use
Okay.
4, but so we want to expand to. My dream is to use the whole 6-horn book
Sure, why not?
and have guest musicians and especially guest singers to come in and just nail this stuff. But it's just a wonderful book of rhythm and blues music, and it's so well done the way it's arranged.
And you'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks exactly this, right? Like on
Yes.
this night, you can come out and it's not live band karaoke, but basically you've got a band of top-notch musicians and you're letting other musicians and singers come in, sit in, and just have some fun.
Right, and these are they're the original studio versions of these songs.
Right, just chart it out.
Yeah, so some of the singers I know, they're at the level, well, like you are with drumming with different bands. They can bring it. They don't necessarily need a rehearsal. Oh, I know Funky Broadway by Wilson Pickett. That key, that thing, bang, there you go. And as a drummer, I'm always trying to play little fills and what we call setups for singers. I think of myself as a singer's drummer. I'm always paying attention to them, and I want to help them because they don't always, they're not
Lead
always.
them in if you can.
Even if they're not in the right place, everybody makes mistakes. But if I can lead things in, and I encourage other drummers to do that too. We call them setups. Play a little fill in advance, or little things here and there that cue the rest of the band too.
Sure.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I think it'll be a great project, and then you can play some drums. I can play hand percussion, which
And you've got so many different great drummers, guitar players in the area that would be awesome to do.
And even the ones that don't necessarily read well, they can learn a few songs and come in and bang, hammer it out.
Yeah, some of them may choose to just learn it.
Yes.
And not read it.
And now another thing I've done over time, and it was part of my plan, where a lot of men don't have the range to sing some of this material.
Makes sense.
Female vocalists love doing these songs because they feel empowered. And if they can sing
In the higher register.
higher register songs, be it Stevie Winwood or Aerosmith or these sort of things, that's really cool. and you don't have to pressure singers to sing where their comfort range is not in, because I totally get
Understood.
that. I'm like a mother hen with singers and horn players. You got to pace them. You know, we drummers can keep playing.
Right,
Play
you
all
can't
night.
retune your vocal cords.
No, you know,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wanted to mention something about the kids bands again. I'm very happy to promote the kids bands, and you know this. We're seeing kids on YouTube nowadays,
Oh,
5 or
ridiculous.
6 years old, playing at a
Ridiculous.
level that was unheard of years
Yeah,
ago.
ridiculous.
Now I haven't found any of those yet, but I'm happy to help produce these kids bands
Oh,
because
sure.
I want to be a drummer / producer,
Okay.
and I love kids bands. They can't. So what if they make a mistake? Who cares?
That's all right. That's the next generation, and we all made those mistakes.
Yes, and their
100 times.
parents, they bring the parents, the grandparents, the friends. So I'm happy to do that. And also, since Fredster's is not a dive, yeah, it's a rock and roll bar too. We got a big stage, but it's a nice venue, so we're child friendly.
Right. No, you are for sure.
I've seen moms on the dance floor with their teenage daughters living it up.
Yep.
We have high chairs and booster seats. The kids are welcome.
That's
so
awesome.
it's family, yeah, but it's got a big stage, but it's
But it can be both.
yeah, it's
But
it's
it can
both.
be both.
It's not a dive, and we have a really nice patio also, with a patio bar. We've even had duos and trios out on the patio in the corner. We can have separate parties on the patio, apart from indoors.
Yeah.
What's going on, you know? So I want to promote that too. So it's my dream to really promote the live music venue, because when all is said and done, it's a tribute. If I was Pharaoh, it's my pyramid to live music. It's a
Understood.
live music institution, and I'm proud to have live music and different bands playing there. I've met so many people, and I learn too by playing, by watching other bands. I'm always keeping a learning attitude, which most musicians should.
Agreed.
You know, you should always. I'm like a sponge. Okay, what can I learn?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know.
I thank you for making the time. I know you're very busy. You've got who's playing there tonight? Because I know you have to be there for the show.
Tonight is second. Was it Second Light? Second Light,
Okay.
and they're a mixture of classic rock and some current stuff. And I think they're going to do a little filming tonight. So.
Oh, nice.
And tomorrow night is the Boomers.
They're great. They've been around
Oh yeah,
forever.
they're wonderful. Yeah. So please, everyone, thank you for checking us out here. Thank you to my friend Dave
Oh, of
Axel.
course. It's great to see you.
And come out to Fredster's. Check us out. We'd love to have you.
Go by, say hello. They're always happy to see everybody, and I appreciate you guys watching. You have a great weekend of live music, and I will see you next week.
See you. Thank you.